Good afternoon. Coming up on Eyewitness News, a Chicago gynecologist is sentenced to 10 years in prison after pleading guilty to sexually assaulting female patients while they were under anesthesia. And we'll have a live report on a carnival ride shut down because the state says it's a threat to the public safety.
Also coming up on Eyewitness News, an Illinois soldier who carries the AIDS virus faces a court-martial for assault and bringing discredit to the military. And Dr. Art Uline talks about new drugs being used to treat Parkinson's disease. Those stories and much more coming up next on Eyewitness News.
America needs a way to face the morning. America needs a way to greet the day. So rise and shine and hit the trail to Denny's summer breakfast sale. The food is good and the price is nice and low, low.
With 9 breakfast choices and great prices, Denny's summer breakfast sale is worth getting up for.
So rise and shine and hit the trail to Denny's summer breakfast sale. The food is good and the price is nice and low.
Cocaine is a drug of denial. If your life and paycheck are going up in smoke because of a little cocaine problem, call Martha Washington Treatment Center at 287-COKE before the smoke turns to fire.
I took Metamucil, but it was so gritty.
That's why we made Citracel. Look, Metamucil's gritty, so it won't all go through the strainer. Citracel's special fiber pours right through. Citracel, great taste, no grit.
Bicentennial celebration, Saturday at 6.
This is Channel 7 Eyewitness News with Joel Daly, Marianne Childers, Jerry Taft's weather, Mike Adamley on sports, and the Eyewitness News team.
Good afternoon, everyone. Chicago gynecologist William Dishuk has been sentenced to 10 years in prison after pleading guilty to charges that he sexually assaulted patients while they were under anesthetic. Jay Levine joins us with details.
Joel and Marianne, it was a difficult case with victims who didn't even know they'd been victims, with evidence which came to light during a messy divorce case, and skeptical hospital officials and even police who delayed taking action against a doctor who preyed on women coaxed into his office after being told they needed surgery.
He would be there alone. It would be on a day off, like a Wednesday or a Saturday. He would then anesthetize them, put them on the gurney. They would have already taken their clothes off. They'd be in a hospital gown situation. And then, in the case of our elected case, he would photograph them, and in our elected case, there's a photograph. The photograph would depict sexual acts.
Erickson's goal in prosecuting Dr. William Dishuk was sparing the victims the ordeal of having to testify. Here were women who told us several months ago that they had no idea anything had happened until they were shown the pictures.
I almost felt like he was my father. I had been going to him for so long, and he knew everything about me. And I could not believe that he would violate that confidence.
Today in court, Dishuk and his lawyer, Dave Shippers, formally agreed to plead guilty to 1 of 5 cases and accept a sentence of 10 years in prison for what Judge Michael Getty called using his reputation and position to commit the offenses charged. Dishuk himself declined when the judge gave him an opportunity to make a statement. His only reaction, blowing a kiss to a girlfriend as he was led away. After the sentencing, the prosecutors, who'd spent months taking and making a case that neither police nor the hospital would touch, talked about their investigation.
As you could well imagine, it's absolute horror. I mean, it's a shocking experience to have, I'm sure, and I cannot identify with it. I don't think most people can. To have somebody show you a photograph of yourself unclothed that you didn't know was taken, and be confronted with it, and then find out that it was your doctor that took that photograph.
To the end, the man who preyed on defenseless, anesthetized women and had pictures to prove it tried to avoid having his own picture taken, trying unsuccessfully to have our artist removed from the courtroom. He did, however, succeed in avoiding TV cameras in the courthouse lobby, sheriff's deputies taking him out a back way to begin his prison term. Joel, Marianne?
Thank you, Jay. This afternoon, 2 men on death row were asking a DuPage County judge for a new trial in the 1983 murder of Janine Nicarico. Roland Cruz and Alejandro Hernandez were convicted of that murder. But since then, a third man, Brian Dugan, told police that he alone killed the 10-year-old Naperville girl. Both the prosecutors and the slain girl's parents doubt Dugan's testimony, and they believe Cruz and Hernandez were indeed responsible for the crime.
This afternoon, the state of Illinois has closed down a popular carnival ride, calling it a threat to public safety. The action follows an accident downstate last May. Chuck Gowdy is live on the northwest side with the latest on this story. Chuck?
Joel, the state of Illinois has shut down all 7 Roundup rides, as they are called, currently in the state of Illinois. There are 3 of them right now at Chicago area carnivals, including the one behind me on the northwest side. It was to have been an attraction here at St. Tecla's Church fundraiser, due to begin in about 2 hours now. But the centrifugal force rides ordered closed by inspectors from the Illinois Labor Department after cracks were detected in a shaft in this one. Agents from the Carnival and Amusement Rides Division slapping these stickers on the rides until the problem's fixed. The shutdown follows an accident on a Roundup ride 6 weeks ago here in downstate Decatur. 24 people on this ride were injured when the shaft pin gave way while the metal cage was whirling at top speed. Some victims say they fell 30 feet as the ride ground to a halt. The equipment had just been inspected in the month of February. One of those on board that ride at the time, 22-year-old Vicki Nixon of the South Side. She was hurt in the amusement park accident. This afternoon, I talked to her in her South Side apartment. She says it took but a split second to change a night of fun into fright.
I heard a big boom, and I just held on tight. And the thing just dropped like the floor can drop from up under you. And I just held on tight and closed my eyes. Some people fell. A girl I knew, Jennifer Joyner, she flew over the rails. I think she broke her leg.
It started to go down slowly, and then it just fell about 30 feet. And it fell at an impact that hard enough to make me put all my weight on this leg and shatter the bone.
A city amusement ride inspector just finished examining the other equipment here, saying everything else checks out. The owner of this carnival, called Carousel Attractions, this afternoon says the cracked shaft is not a major problem, but that it's better to fix it before it becomes one. He says the ride's manufacturer will be replacing the shaft. Now, part of the problem seems to be the Illinois inspection process itself, now only 3 years old. The state only visually inspects these rides. The crack in question is on a mechanism that is inside the actual ride. It cannot be seen by a visual check. It's not on the surface. You were supposed to be able to submit affidavits to the state, manufacturer-required affidavits that are a result of checks of the internal inspections. But apparently that was not enough. It took an accident and an ultrasound to figure out that there was apparently a problem with these rides. Live on the northwest side, Chuck Gowdy, Channel 7 Eyewitness News. Joel, Marianne.
Thank you, Chuck. We have more news to come. Jerry Taft is up next with the weather forecast. And word from Arizona that an Illinois soldier who carries the AIDS virus faces a court-martial. And Oliver North defends his expensive home security system, saying the government should write a check for it.
And I don't
We'll be right back.
The explanation on the bottom of it.
When Whirlpool asked me to talk about their customer commitment, I said, what am I going to say? And they said, now we've added a full-year replacement guarantee. When you buy any Whirlpool major appliance from a retail dealer, you'll be satisfied with its quality and performance, or we'll replace it free. I said, Whirlpool guarantees replacement free for a year? They said yes. I said, roll those cameras. I do have something to say.
Every time I think I know what I want for dinner, like steak, part of me wants something else.
No, it's shrimp.
Why do I do that?
Because I want both.
How can I have both?
Well, I'll take the shrimp.
If you're of two minds, try Ponderosa's new You Choose 'em Twosome. There's steak, chicken, and shrimp. And for $4.99, you choose not one, but any two.
I'm happy now, right?
I'm very happy. Maybe I should have ordered chicken.
Don't start.
There's a family feeling at Ponderosa.
What you see is not always what you get back in prints. At Osco, our technicians use the Kodak Color Watch system to computer correct every shot for color, contrast, exposure, up to 10 critical adjustments. So what you see and what you get back is the best your photo can be. What you see is what you get. Next day at Osco.
With low back pain, walking can be agony, where every step shoots pain up here. You know what helps? New Back Guard.
Back Guard's a shoe insert for low back pain. Only Back Guard has the shock trapper module made with shock shield material used in space technology. Watch how it helps absorb shock upon impact to reduce the shock to your back.
Amazing. something down here can help up here.
New back guard from Dr. Scholl's. Absorb shock all day to help keep back pain away.
Here now is a living advertisement of the kind of hot weather we're having. Old red-faced Jerry Taft.
Yeah, actually, I was out playing golf in a charity event for St. Joseph's Hospital.
What a nice guy.
And it was hot out there. As a matter of fact, I felt like I was going to have heat stroke there for a while. It was hot, humid. At least we do not have showers and thunderstorms to contend with this afternoon. This evening, let's take a look at the radar off the computer. This is a computerized radar of the entire Midwest. You can see showers and thunderstorms back in Iowa approaching the Mississippi River. They are moving east, so they do threaten us late tonight into tomorrow morning, but if you're going out this evening, no problems. Here's a look at the satellite. Partly sunny skies around here. You can see some clouds down to the south, quite a few clouds in Indiana, southern Illinois, and then a big batch of clouds back out to the west. Temperatures right now, 89 here in Chicago, 87 in St. Louis and Des Moines, also 87 up in Minneapolis, so it's still pretty warm and rather humid out there. 86 right now at the lakefront. Thornton, 87, 85 at Midway, the official reading at O'Hare, 89. Deerfield, 88, humidity 46%, the wind out of the southwest at 12 miles an hour. We had a high today of 89. The low temperature this morning was only 71 degrees. Normal high is 83, which we hit last year, but you can see we're 6 degrees above normal right now. The record high 99. Sunset moves back again 1 minute at 8:27. So the sun is going down a little bit earlier each day. You can see the clouds across the central part of the country. Once again, basically what we have is one situation where you have all the heat and humidity in the eastern part of the nation, and then back up to the northwest it is a little bit cooler, but that is not expected to move in through the weekend. We will be hot and humid. No cooling trend expected through the weekend. You can see the cooler air moving down through Wisconsin, but that's about as far as it gets. It does not get here to Chicago. You can see some of the clouds up to the north of us, and we do have a shower late tonight, tomorrow morning. After that, it looks pretty good, and Friday also looks pretty good, but it's still going to be hot. Let's take a look at the forecast. First of all, for tonight, we do expect warm, humid, scattered showers and thunderstorms late tonight. That is late tonight, not early tonight, with a low of 72. And then for tomorrow, partly cloudy, a few showers early, very warm and humid tomorrow, south winds, and a high of 88. Tomorrow night, a few clouds, humid, low 73. Then on Friday, no rain, mostly sunny, breezy, hot and humid, 93 degrees on Friday. So we do not break the heat that we have, as a matter of fact, right on through the weekend. So you better get used to it.
You can't get used to it, Jerry.
I can, Joel.
What a guy.
Thank you, Jerry. Coming up, Dr. Arjuline reveals the latest in drug treatments for Parkinson's disease. That and more when Eyewitness News continues.
Oh, what a surprise. A hamburger.
People consume over 7 billion burgers a year. A lot of the same old thing. But there's something different. Arby's delicious roast beef. Different sandwiches, different toppings. So don't say, oh no, another hamburger. Say Arby's and taste the difference.
Introducing Arby's delicious new giant roast beef sandwich. It tastes as big as it looks.
You'll find unexpected quality and spectacular savings in every department during Wick's Furniture's Everything on Sale sale. Save $800 on this beautiful 4-piece bedroom, regularly $1599.99, now just $799.98. Or buy the $699 sleeper and get the matching $499 love seat free in your choice of contemporary, country, or casual. Everything's on sale now.
Wick's, surprisingly Wick's.
Cool. Clear.
Crisp.
Inkley and Schmidt water.
Gulp.
Yeah. Taste? Great. Thirst?
Smash.
Inkley and Schmidt water. In a glass by itself since 1888.
I've seen a lot of saves, but nobody beats these guys for real savings.
Grand Slam savings, Jody, at Chicagoland Northwest Indiana Toyota dealers on exciting limited edition 4x trucks, complete with up to $650 worth of options thrown in for free. There's money-saving deals on every Toyota truck on the lot, even their lowest priced 2x standard bed.
Get over to your Chicagoland Northwest Indiana Toyota dealers. They're ready to play ball now.
Parkinson's disease is a neurological disorder that causes gradual loss of certain motor functions. That results in uncontrollable trembling, muscular stiffness, and slowing of body movements. Dr. Arulene concludes his report on Parkinson's disease today with a look at some promising advances in research and treatment.
Parkinson's disease gradually destroys the cells in the brain that make a chemical called dopamine. This chemical is a neurotransmitter. It helps transmit messages from one cell in the brain to another. When too many of the cells that make dopamine are destroyed, the brain is no longer able to send the messages that control muscular movements. That's when the signs of Parkinsonism start showing up. A drug discovered around 1960 is the reason these people with Parkinson's can still function. It's a synthetic substitute for dopamine made by the brain called L-Dopa. But it's not an easy drug to use. The strength and frequency of the doses must be matched to the particular needs of each patient.
It has to be demand related so that when they need increased activity, the release mechanism of the pill will kick in so that a little more will come out so that for the period of time when they need to be more active, they can be more active.
Most people with Parkinson's disease respond dramatically when they first go on L-Dopa. But over time, usually a few years, the drug stops working as well.
So what time do you start taking it?
Well, I take the first one is due at 8, but sometimes I can't wait till 8, so I'll take a half the one at 7:30, and then the full one at 8, and then at 10:30 I'll take the other half, and then at 11 I'll take the other.
One theory is that the brain starts compensating for the shortage of natural dopamine by using it up at a faster rate. Recent advances in drug therapy, therefore, have focused on getting more L-Dopa to the brain and prolonging its effect there. One such drug now being studied is Eldepril.
Its mechanism of action is to retard the destruction of the dopamine formed from the L-Dopa given in the treatment. The L-Dopa is the active ingredient of Sinemet, so that it would stay in the basal ganglia in the brain a little longer.
Clinical trials have demonstrated that Eldepril can even out and prolong the effects of dopamine in some patients. More important, other studies show that Eldepril might be able to do something that no other form of therapy has yet been able to do. It may protect brain cells from the disease process and possibly alter the course of Parkinsonism.
That new drug, Eldepril, is not available yet to doctors, and much more research is needed before it's going to be. According to Dr. Arulene, he promises to keep us updated on the latest advances in Parkinson's research.
A soldier from downstate Caseyville, Illinois, goes on trial this week in Arizona, accused of having sex with fellow soldiers without telling them he carries the AIDS virus. Private Adrian Morris, Jr. will be court-martialed for having sex both with a male and female soldier. He is charged with aggravated assault, sodomy, and bringing discredit to the military. If convicted, Morris could serve up to 17 years in prison. He faces a dishonorable discharge. A Roman Catholic church here in Chicago will soon begin public last rites for victims of severe illnesses, including AIDS. The sacrament of extreme unction, the anointing of critically ill, will be offered every 3 months at Our Lady of Mount Carmel Church beginning July 25th. The church says the public ceremony will reaffirm the church's acceptance of people who have contracted AIDS through homosexual contact, even though the church does not condone homosexuality.
Coming up next on Eyewitness News, the Washington administration continues to battle with HUD over control of the CHA. We'll tell you where it now stands. And Colonel Oliver North says death threats against his family made an elaborate security system a necessity. We'll be right back.